Wife cheated in Boise with my rival. Stole my $90 million deals, and then I caught my wife's perfume on my old colleague's jacket at a client dinner. Her phone pinged at his condo while she swore she was at book club. That wasn't the worst part, it was who she chose. If this story moved, you don't forget to drop a comment and subscribe to Revenge with Jack for more unforgettable stories that speak to the heart. I'm Dean Strickland, 48. The guy who's kept a Boise financial services firm's blood pumping for 22 years. As Director of Client Relations, I don't just close deals, I forge bonds. My team's face-to-face meetings and bulletproof contracts raked in $90 million of the firm's $150 million revenue last year. No algorithms, no mass emails, just trust, grit, and a bourbon toasted over a signed portfolio. Life was rock solid, a sleek loft in Boise's North End cedar walls glowing under soft lights. A '66 Chevy Impala parked in the garage, its chrome glinting like a promise. And weekends casting lines with my brother Owen on the Snake River. The water's rush drowning out the world. My wife Lynette, 37, was my anchor, blonde curls bouncing when she laughed, green eyes that held mine like a vow. 10 years married, no kids, just us, our shared dreams, and a love I'd have bet my life on. My clients were my legacy, Lynette, my heart, until Royce Brennan ripped both to shreds. Royce, 50, was my old colleague from the firm's hungrier days now. A slick advisor at a rival outfit across town. Charcoal suits, sharper ambition with a grin that masked a predator. We'd parted ways years ago, no bad blood, or so I thought. Lately he'd been circling my clients, his name popping up at dinners, his handshake lingering too long. Last month at a black-tie gala downtown, he clapped my shoulder, his cologne heavy. Dean still running the show, he said, his eyes flicking to Lynette. She stood radiant in a sapphire dress, her laugh bright as she leaned into his joke, her hand grazing his arm. I brushed it off, networking, nothing more. But my gut twisted, the ballroom's chandeliers casting jagged shadows. Something wasn't right. 3 weeks later, I'm at the office, the morning air biting, locking down a $15 million portfolio for a retail chain. My lead analyst, Clara Vance, 34, a sharp mind with a skeptic's edge, flags me down. Dean, you need to see this. She slides me a tablet, $7 million in client assets, my accounts quietly shifted to Royce's firm. My jaw clenches, the screen's glare burning. How? I ask, voice low. Clara's eyes narrow. They're citing exclusive terms. Smells like poaching. I fire off emails to 2 clients expecting a mix-up. Their replies hit like punches. Moving to Brennan. Better rates. Better. My rates saved them millions. I call a 3rd client, same story. My pulse hammers, the office's hum fading. This isn't a glitch, it's a heist. I loop in my deputy, Miles Tate, 35, a strategist with a poker player's calm and a knack for sniffing out lies. He's at his desk, tie loose, scanning data. Royce is rating you, Dean. He says, his voice steady. He's got inside dirt, your client preferences, your fee structures. My blood runs hot. Inside. My deals are locked tight. We pull client logs tracing $25 million in transfers to Royce's firm, all within weeks. I draft a report to the board, my fingers flying, and demand an audit. Miles backs me, his eyes fierce. We'll bury him. I nod, but doubt creeps in. Lynette's been off late nights at client meetings. Her phone glued to her hand, her kisses rushed. I shoved the thought down the Boise skyline, a cold smear through the office window. Royce's play is bigger than clients, and it's personal. Next morning, I'm back cross-referencing accounts when Miles storms in. Dean, they're switching our CRM to a new platform. Royce's firm uses the same one. My gut twists. A coincidence, or a pipeline for my data. I log 18 anomalies, delayed responses, redirected funds, now this. I escalate the audit request, copying the board's chair, Evelyn Harper, 52, a hawk with no patience for excuses. She calls me in by noon, her office, stark the air heavy with leather and coffee. Dean, you're stirring panic, she says, her voice like tempered steel, leaning back in her chair. Clients shift. It's business. I hold her gaze unflinching. Royce is stealing my accounts with my own playbook. Her eyes narrow, sharp as a blade. Prove it or you're just noise. The air's electric, her challenge a gauntlet. I walk out, my boots echoing on the marble floor, the weight of my career pressing down. Friday night, I'm at the Copper Fox, our team's dive bar, the jukebox growling a Springsteen track. The mood's sour. Miles is nursing a stout, Clara's scrolling her phone, her dark hair catching the neon's glow. Royce is outmaneuvering us. Miles mutters, his jaw tight. Clients are eating his pitch. I slam my glass down, bourbon splashing. Then we flip the board. But my mind's split. Lynette's been distant, her book club ran late again, her texts vague, her perfume sharper than usual. I shake it off, but my chest tightens. My phone buzzes, a text from an unknown number. Check Lynette's laptop. Her office tomorrow, 3 a.m. My pulse spikes, the bar's smoky haze closing in. A tip. A setup. I show Clara. Could be legit, she says, her voice low. Miles leans in, skeptical, is beer forgotten? Or someone's twisting the knife. I don't sleep, the text a spark in my veins, the Boise night heavy against my windows. Saturday, I'm in Lynette's home office at 2:45, heart pounding like I'm robbing my own life. Her laptop's glowing, her password unchanged, my birthday to cruel irony. I open her email and choke on the truth. Messages with Royce, intimate, laced with promises, time-stamped from nights she was working late. Photos her at his downtown condo. His arm around her, her smile, the one I thought was ours. My breath catches the screen's light, searing my eyes. My wife, my heart in his bed. There's more. A bank transfer, $50,000 from our joint account to an account tied to Royce's firm labeled consulting. My blood boils, the room spinning, the Boise dawn, a gray wound outside. This isn't just an affair, it's a betrayal that's bled me dry. Back in the kitchen, I'm pacing the USB, a live grenade in my pocket. Owen's over his carpenter's grit, reading my face. "Dean, you're a damn storm," he says, tossing me a beer, his flannel sleeves rolled up. I want to unload Royce, Lynette, the money. But his kids are outside, their laughter slicing through the Boise dusk. I choke it back. Rough week, I mutter, the bottle cold in my hand. He grips my shoulder fierce. "You don't fight alone, brother." His words hit, but the war's in my head. I dive into Lynette's emails, finding a thread with Royce. Dean's too buried in work. "You make me feel seen." Seen. I built our life. Worse, an email to her sister Paige. "Cover for me tonight. Book club." My heart cracks, the Boise skyline a blur through the window. This is a revenge story and I'm the fool. Monday, I'm playing the game, but Royce is doubling down. He hosts a client lunch, all charm, his watch flashing under the restaurant's lights. "Dean's team is top tier, but we're the future," he says, stealing my pitch. My clients nod, hooked. I stay stone-faced, my jaw tight. Lynette's perfume still lingering in my memory. After Royce corners me near the bar, his cologne thick with her scent. "Dean joined my firm. We're unstoppable." His tones velvet, his eyes venom. I nod cold. "I'll pass." He misses the steel in my voice. "Big mistake." That afternoon, Clara pulls me into a conference room, her perfume sharp, her voice urgent. "Dean, I found something." She hands me a second USB client, contracts my deals woven into Royce's pitches, plus a memo about consulting fees tied to Lynette. "He's been milking your accounts for months," she says, her eyes blazing, her hand steady as she passes the drive. My blood surges. "My deals?" "My wife." "Why now?" I ask, my voice low. She steps closer, her breath warm. "Because you're worth fighting for." The air crackles, but I pull back, gripping the USB. This fight's for my marriage, my name, my truth. Tuesday, my office badge fails. Security's waiting, new guy Mitch with an HR letter. Suspension pending investigation. Client misconduct. My vision blurs, the paper trembling in my hand. Misconduct. I saved millions. I don't argue, I walk head high, but my gut's a furnace. In my Impala, the engine roaring, I call Miles. He's at the office, says Royce is spinning lies about unauthorized transfers tied to me. Transfers. I built those portfolios. I drive to a diner, the neon sign flickering, and open my laptop. I've got emails, logs, proof. Then I pull up Lynette's bank records, my heart splintering. Another $30,000 gone wired to Royce's account. "You're my everything," she texted him last night. Everything. I was her husband. My blood boils, the diner's coffee bitter as betrayal. Wednesday morning, the anonymous text, "Check Lynette's laptop," is a knife in my gut. I'm Dean Strickland, 48, suspended from the Boise financial firm I carried for 22 years. My $90 million client deal stolen by Royce Brennan, the man sleeping with my wife Lynette. Her emails and $80,000 siphoned from our account burn in my mind, Clara's USB proof of Royce's theft heavy in my pocket. This isn't just an affair, it's a heist, and I'm tearing it apart. I'm up before dawn, coffee bitter as betrayal, diving into Lynette's digital trail. Using an old password trick from my leaner days, I crack her cloud drive. Her emails with Royce are raw. "Dean's distracted. You're my escape," she wrote last week. My jaw clenches, but there's more transfers to a Boise account under RB Consulting. $120,000 total funneled through shell companies. My blood boils. She didn't just cheat, she's bankrolling his scam. I encrypt the files, stashing the drive in my safe hand, steady, but my pulse a drum. Royce isn't just a lover, he's a thief, and Lynette's his accomplice. At 7 a.m., I call Miles Tate, my deputy. He's at the office, dodging Royce's new analysts, mangling my client relationships. "Dean, it's a mess," he says, voice low. "Clients are jumping ship, accounts bleeding. My deal's $90 million in revenue gutted by greed." "What about Clara?" I ask. Miles hesitates. Vance is rattled. Said she's taking personal time. Clara Vance, my lead analyst who'd charm a client through a crisis, bailing now. My instincts scream foul. "Track her," I say. "And Royce," Miles grunts. "On it." I hit the firm's client logs hunting Royce's tracks. Their fake consulting fees to RB Consulting buried as marketing expenses tied to Lynette's login. My chest tightens. Lynette. My wife rigging my books. I text her. Meet me. Noon. No reply. My mind races. She's not just cheating. She's framing me. I pull up the server logs, finding tampered client data timestamped to Lynette's late-night sessions. This is a revenge story, and I'm the fall guy. Noon, I'm at a diner off State Street meeting Ethan Cole, 52, a private investigator with a knack for corporate dirt. He slides in eyes like flint. Dean Royce has a fixer, Silas Drake, ex-security consultant. He sent that text. My pulse spikes. The tip, the frame, a setup. Ethan hands me a flash drive. Drake's records. Royce is paying him to paint you as a fraud. I pocket it, jaw clenched. Drake's play. Ethan leans in, voice low. He's forging invoices, $1. 8 million embezzlement, all pointing to you. I nod, the game clear. Royce isn't just stealing my life, he's burying me. Back at my loft, Owen's there, his carpenter's calm, reading my mood. Dean, you're a damn hurricane, he says, cracking a beer, his work boots scuffed. I want to spill Royce Lynette the money, but his kids are outside, their laughter, a blade in my chest. I choke it back. Rough patch, I mutter, the bottle cold in my hand. He grabs my arm, fierce. You don't fight alone, man. His words hit, but the war's in my head. I hack Royce's firm's server, old skills razor sharp, and find a gold mine. My client contract's rebranded as Brennan Wealth set for a $50 million rollout. Worse, a dossier, my morning runs, Owen's workshop, my Impala's plates. My blood runs cold. Royce isn't just after my deals, he's after my family. I'm about to call Miles when Lynette texts. Dean, I messed up. Meet me at the old warehouse, 7 p.m. No explanation, just desperation. My gut screams trap, but she's still my wife. I grab my keys and roll. The warehouse is a ghost, empty crates, dust swirling in the Boise sunset. Lynette's waiting, pale hands twisting her scarf. Royce pressured me, she admits, voice breaking. He needed money for his firm, said it was temporary. My fists clench. Temporary. She drained our account. Why him? I snarl, stepping closer. She meets my gaze, shattered. You were always at work, Dean. He saw me. Her breath catches the air, heavy. What's his endgame? I demand, voice ice. She swallows. He's meeting investors tomorrow night, the Ivory Club closing the deal. I nod, rage coiling. You're with me, or you're gone. She nods, tears falling her eyes, pleading. Trust's dead, but I need her access. Friday morning, I'm at my loft, plotting. Owen texts. Found dirt. Royce is dodging taxes, buddy at the IRS, saw his filings. My brother, the silent warrior, digging for me. I call Ethan. Need a way into the Ivory Club, I say. He chuckles sharp. Gotta contact ex-waiter, hates suits. You're in. I'm not crashing Royce's deal, I'm torching it. I hack the Ivory Club's network cameras, guest lists, Wi-Fi. It's tight, but I've cracked worse. Royce's emails reveal more. Strickland's suspension buys us time. Close before he talks. Close. The word sears the loft's cedar walls, closing in. That afternoon, Miles calls. Dean, your USB's legit? Royce's firm is losing clients, bad terms. Why's he pushing it? I take a risk. He's cashing out. Check RB Consulting. Miles pauses then. We're auditing his accounts. Stay sharp. Adrenaline surges. The board's waking up, but Royce isn't asleep. My phone pings anonymous text. Strickland, we know your brother's fishing spots. Back off. My breath catches. Owen. Drake's hitting my family, the Boise skyline. A silent witness through the loft's window. Friday night, I'm outside the Ivory Club, Boise's elite haven, all glass, and whispers. Ethan's guy slips me past security, my borrowed blazer tight. Inside, it's velvet and cigar smoke. Royce at a private booth with Vince Brennan and 2 investors laughing like kings. My blood simmers, but I stay cold, sliding into a corner. I've got a burner phone with Clara's app, a data sniffer to grab their files. I text Miles, parked nearby with a signal jammer. Go. Their Wi-Fi drops, forcing them to my rigged hotspot. Contracts, emails, deal memos. Everything streams to me, the club's low hum masking my pulse. The first twist hits like a freight train. A hand grabs my shoulder. I spin, expecting a bouncer, but it's Lynette, eyes blazing, no trace of last night's wreck. Dean, I'm in, she whispers, her perfume sharp. Royce threatened to expose my transfers if I didn't play along. Before I can respond, Royce spots us. His face shifts, shock, then rage. He strides over Vince, trailing his boots clicking on the polished floor. Strickland, he sneers, you're a dead man walking. I stand locking eyes. You stole my deals, my wife. You're finished. Lynette's at my side, unyielding, her presence a spark. The air crackles, the club's elite, watching their drinks forgotten. The second twist lands like a collapsing vault. A woman steps forward, Evelyn Harper, the board's chair, holding a tablet, her heels sharp against the floor. Royce isn't just poaching, she says, voice like a guillotine. He's laundering money through his firm. She swipes, showing bank records, RB Consulting, $10 million funneled offshore. My jaw drops. Evelyn. Here. Her eyes meet mine, fierce. You didn't think I'd let him gut us, did you? I forgot Evelyn's a titan in Boise's finance world. She's not just my boss, she's my trump card. Royce pales, stammering. Lies. Vince bolts, but security's closing in, not for us. Evelyn signaled a state auditor waiting outside the club's lights glinting off her tablet. Chaos erupts. Royce lunges for the tablet, but Lynette blocks him, swift, her shoulder brushing mine. The auditor steps in, badge gleaming. Royce Brennan, you're coming with us. The club clears, whispers trailing like smoke. I'm left with Lynette and Evelyn, my pulse a drum. Evelyn saved me, but Lynette's eyes are cold. You didn't trust me, Dean, she says, voice low, her scarf slipping. We're not done. She walks out, her silhouette fading into the Boise night. Evelyn grips my arm. We got him, but victory tastes like ash. Saturday, I'm at my loft, the silence deafening. Miles calls. Royce is detained, his firm's done. We're auditing RB Consulting. You're cleared, Dean. We want you back. I nod, but my mind's on Lynette. I shut her out, fought alone, and it cost us. I drive to her sister's place where Paige is packing Lynette's things, her face guarded. She's sorry, Paige starts, voice soft. I cut her off. She chose him. Paige nods, eyes sad. She's at a hotel. Talk to her. I don't argue, it's a start. Tell me where, I say, stepping closer. Paige hesitates, then writes an address. Don't hate her, Dean. I walk out the Boise skyline, flickering my heart, a tangle of rage and regret. Sunday, I'm chasing Drake's trail. Ethan's drive has a lead. Payments to a local journalist prepping a smear piece on me. Drake's still out there, a shadow. My phone buzzes Clara. Dean, Lynette found something. She hands me a tablet, Royce's firm's internal memo dated yesterday, outlining a backup plan to relaunch my contracts under a shell company, Pinnacle Financial. Royce's name is gone, but Vince Brennan is listed as CEO. My jaw tightens. Royce is down, but his brother's keeping the scam alive. I call Lynette. You okay? She's steady but tense. I'm fine. But Pinnacle's using your work, Dean. They're not done. I lean back, the loft's cedar walls grounding me. Then neither are we. Monday, I meet Ethan at a park, the Boise River rushing nearby. Pinnacle's a front, he says, handing me another drive. Drake's running their data. He's got to mole someone close. My stomach drops. Close. I trust Miles, Evelyn, but Lynette. Her guilt, her distance, it gnaws at me. Find the mole, I say. Ethan nods grim. Watch your back, Dean. Drake's a ghost. Tuesday. I'm at the office, cross-referencing Pinnacle's contracts. I find a thread. Pinnacle's funding traces to a Boise VC Horizon Partners where Clara's brother is a partner. My breath catches. Clara. The third twist cuts deep. She's not just rattled, she's complicit. I save the evidence, my hands shaking, the office's hum fading. This isn't just Royce, it's a network. Wednesday, I confront Clara at her condo door, locked. You sold me out, I say, tossing the logs on her table. Her eyes flash, wounded. You think I'm the mole? She pulls up her laptop, showing emails she intercepted, Drake's orders to an unknown insider, not her. I'm fighting for you, Dean, she says, voice breaking, her hands trembling. My chest aches. I misjudged her again. I'm sorry, I mutter, stepping closer. She nods, but the rift lingers. We need to hit Pinnacle, she says, her voice steel. Hard. I agree, the fire reigniting, her eyes locking with mine. Thursday, I meet a whistleblower from Horizon Partners, Tessa Wade, 41, a compliance officer who smells a scam. She slides me a folder, Horizon's investments in Pinnacle, funneled through offshore accounts linked to Vince. Clara's brother is neck deep. Tessa whispers, the park's wind rustling. My mind races. Clara's clean, but her family's dirty. I thank Tessa, my resolve hardening. This fight's bigger than Royce, it's a syndicate. Friday, I hack Pinnacle's servers, finding my contracts in their pipeline. But there's a fourth twist. A hidden clause in the client terms not mine set to tank deals under audit. My heart sinks. Someone inside the firm planted it, and it's not Lynette. I call Miles. Check Evelyn's access logs. He hesitates. Evelyn. She's solid, Dean. I don't buy it. Check. Hours later, he calls back, voice grim. You're right. Evelyn's been logging in after hours, tweaking the terms. Evelyn, the chair who saved me at the Ivory Club. The betrayal burns like acid. Saturday, I confront Evelyn at her office door, shut the Boise skyline stark behind her. Why? I demand, tossing the logs on her desk. She doesn't flinch, her eyes cold. Royce offered me a stake, she says, voice flat. I took it. You're too loyal, Dean. My fists clench. You sold us out. She leans in, her perfume sharp. Join Pinnacle. They'll pay. I laugh bitter, the tablet heavy in my hand. I'm not you. I walk out, her betrayal await, the city's lights flickering below. Monday morning. Miles Tate's call, director of client relations, reinstated full control, lands like a lifeline, but Lynette's words echo. You didn't trust me, Dean. I'm Dean Strickland, 48, back at the Boise financial firm I carried for 22 years. My $90 million client deal's nearly gutted by Royce Brennan, my wife's lover, and his syndicate. Royce is detained, Pinnacle Financial's crumbling, and my accounts are secure, but Evelyn Harper's betrayal and Silas Drake's shadow linger. Lynette's guilt is a wound and trust is a ghost. This fight's not over. It's a fire I'm still stoking. I'm on site, the Boise Airsharp, rebuilding my client network with Miles. Dean, we're stabilizing, he says, his jaw tight. Clients are back, but the CRM's shaky. My deal's $90 million in revenue were nearly bled dry. I nod, my focus split. Lynette. Miles shrugs. She's at her sister's, lying low. Lynette, who drained our account for Royce, is a stranger now. I spot Clara Vance across the office, her dark hair catching the light, her laptop steady. She's proven herself, but her brother's ties to Pinnacle gnaw at me. One shot, I mutter. Miles nods, but the air's thick, loyalty's a gamble. By noon, I'm scouring the firm's financials, hunting Drake's tracks. Ethan Cole texts. Drake's moving. Pay to Boise Detective Lucas Reed to dig into your taxes. My pulse spikes. Taxes. Drake's scraping for dirt and Reed's a badge for hire. I hack Pinnacle's server again, finding a forged invoice in my name, $2. $2 million siphoned from client funds. Embezzlement. The frame's tightening and Royce's emails are active even from jail. I save it, my gut churning. Royce is down, but his web's alive. That afternoon, Miles calls me to the boardroom. Clara's there with Nora Wade, a new board member with a prosecutor's edge. Miles is all business. Dean, Pinnacle's finished. Royce laundered millions through them. We're suing. I nod, but my eyes are on Clara. She's too calm, her pen steady. What's the catch? I ask. Miles sighs. Royce claims you rigged the CRM, faked the evidence. He's out on bail and his lawyer's pushing a countersuit. The first twist hits like a snapped wire. Bail. After laundering theft, the auditor bust. Nora leans in. Dean, we need your deals locked. Take the role or we're exposed. It's a deal with teeth. I don't blink. I'm in. My team, my contract's no leash. Miles nods, relieved. Clara's eyes flicker guilt or something darker. I'm not buying her innocence. As I leave, my phone pings anonymous text. Strickland, we know your brother's workshop. Quit or it burns. My breath catches. Owen, Drake's hitting my family. I delete it, but the threat festers like rot. Tuesday. I'm briefing Owen at my loft. He's in work boots, his carpenter's calm unshaken. I found more, he says, handing me a USB. It's a city auditor's memo, RB Consulting dodging $12 million in taxes. My buddy at the IRS flagged it, he adds. My brother, my rock digging for me. My chest tightens. What's your move? He asks. I lean in, voice low. Cut his cash. His offshore accounts are his lifeline. He nods, fierce. Don't lose yourself, Dean. His words linger as I grip his shoulder, his strength, my anchor. That night, I'm chasing Royce's offshore trail. Ethan's intel points to a Bahamas account layered through shell firms. I hack deeper, finding a ledger. $18 million from Pinnacle to Royce funneled via Horizon Partners. The name stops me cold. Clara's brother is Horizon's CFO. The second twist burns. Clara, my ally, is tied to Royce's money. I save it, my blood simmering. This isn't just Royce, it's a machine. Wednesday, I confront Clara at her office door shut. Horizon Partners, I say, dropping the ledger. She pales, stammering. Dean, I cut her off. Your brother's profiting while Royce guts us. Flip or I go to Miles. Her eyes dart, but she nods, cornered. What do you need? I lean in cold. Feed Royce's lawyer bad data. Stall the countersuit. She agrees, sweating. I've got a mole, but it's a razor's edge. Clara's no friend. Thursday hits like a storm. I'm on site rebuilding with Miles and Nora. Lynette's back working remotely, her client emails flawless, but her silence deafening. I pull her into a call, the screen's glare stark. You solid? She meets my gaze raw. I'm trying, Dean. I owe you? I nod, not forgiving, but accepting. The team's holding client churn down 20%, deals steady. But my phone buzzes, Ethan. Drake's escalating. Drafted a police report, your name on it. Fraud and sabotage. My heart races. The frame's closing. I call Owen. Stay with Mom tonight, I say. Safe. His voice is steady. We've got this, brother. That afternoon, Miles calls. Dean board's meeting. Emergency. Royce is here. Here. On bail, disgraced. I storm to the boardroom where Royce stands, suit-crisp lawyer, smirking. Miles is furious, Clara's tense, Nora's avoiding my gaze. Royce's voice is silk. Dean rigged the CRM, faked the evidence. I'm the victim. His lawyer slides a tablet, screenshots of my server hacks, spun to look criminal. My stomach drops. They've got me twisted into a crook. Miles snaps, Dean explain. I don't waver. Royce is framing me to hide his laundering. Ask Clara about Horizon. Clara flinches, caught. The room erupts, but Miles slams the table. We're auditing Horizon. Now. I walk out head high, but my pulse is a drum. Royce is playing dirty and he's good. I call Ethan. They've got my hacks, I say. He curses. Drake's work. End this. He gives a lead. Royce is meeting Pinnacle tonight, a warehouse on Front Street. Crash it, Ethan says. I'm all in. Friday night I'm at the warehouse, Boise's night air thick with grit. Miles is with me, Lynette on lookout. Inside, Royce is with Vince Brennan and a Pinnacle exec, voices low over contracts. I've got a recorder, Lynette's docs, and a burner phone. The plan: catch them red-handed. But the third twist hits. A flashlight blinds me. Lucas Reed, the dirty cop badge gleaming. Strickland hands up. My heart pounds, but I stay calm. Wrong play, Reed. He smirks. Royce pays better. Before I can move, Lynette dives from the shadows, tackling Reed. Miles grabs the badge. We're not fighters, but we're cornered. Royce's voice cuts through. Dean, you're nothing. He steps forward, unfazed. You can't stop Maresta. System. I'm sorry, but the response was cut off before it could be completed. To provide the full part 3 of the revenge story. Betrayed bonds for revenge with Jack. I'll continue from where the narrative left off, ensuring it remains seamless with parts 1 and 2, incorporates additional twists for heightened drama, and meets all specified requirements. The story will conclude with the requested call to action: adhere to YouTube's community guidelines and avoid repetition with prior stories. Revenge with Luke, cheating stories x Revenge with Jack. The tone will remain masculine, action-driven, and emotionally resonant for the 45-plus male American audience, with a length of 1,000,1800 words, 509 characters to fit the overall story target of 5,800 words. The narrative will maintain the Boise, Idaho setting, financial services backdrop, and logical stakes. $150 million firm revenue, Dean's $90 million contribution. I hold up the recorder streaming to Miles's server. You stole my deals, my wife, and laundered millions. You're done. His face twists, but Vince bolts, triggering alarms. Sirens wail Lynette's tip to a state auditor, perfectly timed. Reed scrambles, but Miles pins him. The warehouse's dust swirling in the Boise night. Royce lunges, but I sidestep, 22 years of grit outmatching his polish. Game over, I say, my voice ice. He's cuffed as the raid sweeps in. Vince and the Pinnacle exec nab their contracts, scattered like ash. Saturday, I'm at my loft, the cedar walls silent. Miles calls. Royce is facing trial. Pinnacle's done. You're cleared, Dean. Director's yours. I nod, but my eyes are on Lynette's scarf left on the couch. She fought for me, but her betrayal, $120,000. Royce's bed cuts deeper than victory. I drive to her hotel, the Boise skyline a blur. She's in the lobby, pale, her blonde curls loose. Dean, she starts, voice raw. I was lost. Forgive me. I meet her gaze, my heart a tangle. You chose him, Lynette. Why? She chokes, tears falling. You were my world, but work buried you. Royce was a mistake. Her words sting, the lobby's dim lights casting long shadows. I don't answer, just walk away, the weight of 10 years heavy on my shoulders. Sunday, I'm chasing Silas Drake's trail. Ethan Cole's drive has a lead. Payments to a Boise blogger prepping a hit piece on me, fraud, embezzlement, lies. Drake's a phantom still hunting. My phone buzzes, Clara Vance. Dean found something. She sends a file, Pinnacle's backup plan dated yesterday, to relaunch my contracts under a new shell, Apex Wealth, with Vince Brennan as CEO. My jaw tightens. Royce is locked up, but his brother's keeping the scam alive. I call Lynette. You safe? She's tense but steady. I'm okay. Apex is using your deals, Dean. They're relentless. I lean back, the loft's windows fogging in the Boise chill. Then we hit harder. Monday, I meet Ethan at a park, the Snake River glinting nearby. Apex is a front, he says, handing me a drive. Drake's running their data, and he's got to mole someone inside your firm. My stomach drops. Inside. I trust Miles Nora, but Lynette. Her remorse feels real, but doubt gnaws. Find the mole, I say. Ethan nods, grim. Drake's a vulture, Dean. Watch your family. My thoughts flash to Owen, his kids, their laughter a lifeline. I won't let Drake touch them. Tuesday, I'm at the office cross-referencing Apex's contracts. I find a thread. Apex's funding traces to a Boise VC Horizon Partners, where Clara's brother, Gavin Vance, is CFO. The third twist lands like a sledgehammer. Gavin, who I mentored years ago, is bankrolling Apex. I save the evidence, my hands steady, the office's hum fading. This isn't just Royce, it's a syndicate, and I trained one of its players. I call Clara. Your brother's dirty, I say, voice low. She's silent then. I know. I'm sorry, Dean. He's been dodging me. Her voice cracks, but I'm cold. Help me end this or you're out. She agrees, her loyalty a fragile thread. Wednesday, I confront Gavin at his downtown office, door locked. Horizon's funding Apex, I say, tossing the ledger on his desk. He smirks, leaning back, his tie loose. You taught me well, Dean. Profit over loyalty. My fists clench, his betrayal a knife. You're selling my deals. He laughs sharp. Join Apex. We'll make you rich. I step closer, voice ice. I'd rather burn it down. I walk out, his smirk a challenge, the Boise skyline stark through his window. I send the ledger to Nora, my resolve ironclad. Thursday, the fourth twist hits. I'm at the office when Miles bursts in. Dean, Lynette's gone. My heart stops. Gone! I call her, no answer. Her hotel room's empty, her phone off. Panic claws at me, but I focus. I hack Apex's server, finding a new email. Strickland's wife is leverage. Secure her. My blood runs cold. Drake has Lynette. I call Ethan. Find her. Now. He's already moving. Drake's got a safe house, old warehouse on Curtis Road. I'm with you. I grab my keys, the Impala's engine roaring, Boise streets a blur. Thursday night, I'm at the warehouse, Ethan at my side, the air thick with oil and dust. Lynette's inside, tied to a chair, Drake looming, his gun glinting. My pulse hammers, but I stay calm. Let her go, Drake, I say, stepping into the light. He sneers, his voice gravel. You're a loose end, Strickland. Lynette's eyes meet mine, terrified but defiant. Dean, don't, she whispers. Ethan signals cops are en route, tipped by Nora. I keep Drake talking, my voice steady. Royce is done. Apex is next. You're alone. His grip falters, doubt creeping in. Sirens wail, and Ethan moves, disarming Drake in a flash. I untie Lynette, her hands trembling in mine, the warehouse's shadows swallowing Drake as cops swarm. Friday, I'm at the hospital. Lynette shaken but unharmed. I thought I could fix it, she says, voice breaking, her hand clutching mine. I went to Apex to expose them. My chest aches. She risked her life, but her betrayal still burns. Why didn't you tell me? I ask, voice low. Her eyes well. I didn't trust myself. I don't answer, the hospital's sterile hum filling the silence. Miles texts. Apex is shut down. Gavin's arrested. You're clean. Victory, but it's hollow. Saturday, I'm at my loft, the cedar walls grounding me. Nora calls. Dean, your director. Firm's yours to rebuild. I nod, but my mind's on Lynette staying with Paige, her sister. I visit the Boise skyline softening in the dusk. I'm sorry, I start, my voice rough. She cuts me off. You fought for us, Dean. Now fight for you. We talk jagged, raw, no promises. It's a spark, not a flame, her green eyes holding a sliver of hope. Sunday, I'm digging into Drake's network. Ethan's drive has a final lead, a payment to a board member, Nora Wade. The fifth twist cuts like glass. Nora, my ally, was feeding Drake intel. I confront her at her office door shut. You played me, I say, tossing the evidence. She doesn't flinch, her eyes cold. I had debts, Dean. Apex paid. My fists clench. You sold my life. She leans in, voice flat. Take the firm. It's yours. I walk out, her betrayal await, the city's lights flickering. Weeks later, I'm director, my contract stronger, my team solid. Royce faces trial, Gavin's indicted, Nora's gone. Lynette and I are separated, rebuilding trust inch by inch. But a text arrives. Nice win, Strickland. I'm not done. No name, but it's Drake. My pulse spikes, but I shut my phone. Trust is a risk, but it's all we've got. I mutter my old creed. Did I fight too hard or not enough? Should I forgive Lynette or let her go? Rebuild love or walk alone? Like what you heard. Hit that like button. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to Revenge with Jack, because the next story might just be your favorite one yet.